time immemorial, it has been man's ambition to join the birds and to fly. Since the turn of the century, and the work of the Wright brothers, this has been possible, but it has just been the domain of the wealthy. Until, that is, the advent of the Microlight, when it became possible for the ordinary individual to be able to afford to fly. For the price of a second-hand car, it is possible to possess and fly your own Microlight. You can have the freedom to fly from a farmer's field. And the adventure sport will bring you into the company of other like-minded men and women of all ages and all walks of life. Here we see a typical collection of Microlight flyers. Some have their own pilot's license. Some are still undergoing their training. Some have towed their aircraft to the field and have then rigged their plane ready for flying. Some have flown from a nearby field. Some have pushed their planes out from a friendly farmer's barn. All of them are enjoying each other's company while they pursue their common interest in some quiet country field. The sport is typified by the enthusiasm of its participants and also by its informality. Here a group of students are receiving their briefing for a cross-country flight from their instructor. These are all students who have gone solo. Up to this time, they received their practical instruction on a one-to-one basis with the instructor sitting in the back seat of their Microlight. The theoretical classes are given in small groups, frequently meeting in their instructor's home. The written exams, which are all multiple-choice questions, cover air law, the theory of flight, navigation, and meteorology. At the end of their training, every pilot has to pass his GFT, the General Flying Test, to demonstrate his or her competence to deal with different types of emergency. Mark Jackson is a typical young Microlight flyer.
Well, Mark, you've been flying now for a year or two in Microlight. How did you start?
Well, about 4 years ago, I came on one night and I was sat eating my tea watching Blue Peter, and there was a parachute on it, and it looked quite simple to make and easy to fly, so I thought, well, in the true Blue Peter tradition, I'll have a go at making one. So I bought some go-kart wheels and a Suzuki 465 motocross engine, which I modified to drive a propeller, some aluminium tubing, some nuts and bolts, and built one up. And I actually made the frame, got it running, everything seemed okay. So I went to buy a chute and made a few inquiries about a parachute to fly on. And people started telling me then that I'd need to get it registered, and it'd have to go through some sort of airworthiness procedure before I could fly it. So it was then that I decided, well, the only way to do it safely and legally was to go and get my Microlight licence and take up Microlight to fly.
And that's what you did?
That's what I did.
Yes. And did you buy your plane first and then go to train, or did you start your training first?
No, well, if you don't know anybody in the Microlight world, it's quite difficult to find out about it. And the only way I could really get in touch was I went to like a newsagent, bought a flying magazine. I think it was Pilot or Pilot International, where the head of Air Sports was advertised. And I phoned Terry Walsh, head of Air Sports, and he said, you know, you can go now for an hour, or you can do like a 12-hour course or whatever. So I thought, well, I want to do it, so I plugged for the 12-hour course.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I wanted to do, and I did it. And
you trained on his plane?
Trained on his plane.
Yes.
And then when we came home, I bought this.
When you completed your training, was there any kind of test that you had to take?
Yeah. It's like you do your 25 hours minimum, 3 ground exams, and then you've got your GFT, your general flying test at the end.
Yeah.
Which I failed, actually.
You failed your GFT?
Yeah, It wasn't so much a fail as just a little rerun.
Yeah. What did you fail it on?
It was the emergency landings.
Mark's attitude to the sport is typical of most people who take part in it. They accept that the sport holds its dangers, but they minimize these by sound training and by identifying the areas of risk and seeking to eliminate them as far as possible. That leaves them free to relax and enjoy the freedom of flying as a recreation. One lovely fine summer's evening, when the air was warm and still, the sky free from clouds and the sun low on the horizon, throwing its colours up over the landscape, Mark went out for an evening's flying with a friend. Here we see Mark that evening testing the plane in solo flight prior to taking his passenger. Being a home video enthusiast, he had fitted his camera onto the back of his wing and wired the intercom, which he used to speak to his passenger, into the camera's recorder. Mark carries out his pre-flight check. Takeoff. They went up, two friends, to enjoy a beautiful sight. But the overtaking by a frightening incident which was captured on film.
Alright. It's not a bit on there, wasn't it? Oh, just swore the number.
They are flying over Savile Hill, just north of Manchester, striking east countryside. But look at the small size of the fields. They're all bounded by dry stone walls. Here they're flying over the ground at just 50 feet, with exhilarating stuff, as it reveals Mark's youthful experience. Watch how they fly over the slick edge at 50 feet, and then into the water.
Oh yeah, it's still snow. That was a weird feeling, that man. It's going closer and closer, isn't it? Stuff like that, yeah. Plus as well in the valley as well, it's coming through, isn't it? Maybe I don't know. Right? No, I'm not boosting. Yeah, I'm just dead now. Yeah, it's alright. At the bottom of the field. Yeah, but what was it, about 50 foot? Yeah, flat.
Prior to the flight, Mark could be teaching Billy what to do in the event of an engine failure.
But you're not getting on anything out anyway. You're not getting on anything out here. Oh yeah, I know. Field with sheep in it.
Only the rule that was spread.
Got left through the wind there. It's only light. Yeah. It's not that, it's just a force going forward, isn't it? Fuck's sake, no.
Excuse the language, but this video was not staged. It's all authentic.
Suggestion there, mate. What about that one there? It seems on the slant, the shape in it. You hear that? Pull it to your fucking right. No. No. Go on, that one there. It's just been mowed. Need to lose a bit more. Okay, mate, I'm with you. I haven't got a clue how high it is.
Watch the angle of bounce. These things are only supposed to be bent to 90 degrees.
It's about 200 foot now. Electric time. Shit, no. Oh, down. Oh, that's it. You stand on that fucking table. Lean over. I'm waiting. I'm pushing. For fuck's sake. Hold on, mate. I love you, Jacko. We nearly died then, mate. No, but I love you. You okay? Yeah. So this one's to go. We've gone for that one. I'm going to end up in there with it dead. That's why I should always practice your emergency landings. For anybody watching this video, that wasn't staged, that was that's for real. But yeah, we're alright, like. I know. Lucky that we had enough fight. Imagine if that had happened over the bleeding moles. I know. Why did it stop?
Mark took his engine to be examined by a Rotax engine specialist.
Aha, morning Mark. How are you?
All right, mate.
Fine, you all right?
Yeah, no problem, yeah.
Fine. What seems to be the problem?
Well, the engine stopped.
And what seems to be the symptoms?
Well, it seemed to slow down and then pick up again. And I thought I'd be able to get back to the field, and then it just stopped.
Okay, so it sounds rather terminal then.
Yeah. I couldn't start it again. I tried starting it. I've looked at my plugs. I've cleaned the carb out. I've been through everything that I know what to do with. Checked all my electrics and everything, and it just won't go.
Okay then, I suppose we've got to have it off the trail and have it in the workshop.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just have a little look around, I think. Well, Mark, it certainly does feel terminal, that does. I'm afraid that that engine's going to have to come out and be completely stripped, so we can have a look, see what's going on with it.
Okay.
Right, Mark, you wouldn't believe it really, but all this damage has occurred just through one tiny little circlip. This circlip, in terms of money, has probably cost about, I don't know, 15 to 16 pence. And that is all that's caused the problem.
Why does that cause the problem?
Well, what happens to this circlip is there is a special machining groove in the piston inside there where that circlip fits. Now, what's probably happened to it that whoever has had this engine down before, stripped down before, possibly for servicing or other things, I don't really know, has either used an old circlip, which is something that you never ever do, or they've sprained it, putting it back in. The circlip's come out of this piston and transferred to the transfer ports. It's lost the circlip somewhere along the lines, and the gudgeon pin, which is this particular thing here, has worked its way out to this piston. Unfortunately, it's got tangled up in one of the ports in the cylinder and smashed the cylinder. It's also done damage to the conrod, which is attached to the crankshaft, as you can see. You can actually see marks down it where the bits of the liner have smashed and gone into it. So unfortunately, we're going to have to write that off, which really means in the short term that you're going to have to buy it off another engine.
So how much will a new engine cost then?
Right, well, unfortunately, Mark, it's going to cost you somewhere in the region of about £1,500.
Now that you've had this incident and your engine's repaired and you're flying again, would you ever fly at 50 feet again?
Not over that sort of land, no. Maybe if I was flying along the beach, where if my engine failed, I could just take it in and land. But over, well, even a decent area of fields, no chance. No, I fly generally around 1,000, 1,500 feet. And I'm also very wary of flying over places where there isn't any suitable landing areas. And I've noticed more now that while I'm flying, I'm looking for the landing field all the time.
By chance, Mark was in the back of a friend's plane with his video camera when that plane suffered an engine failure. This was shortly after takeoff, potentially a more hazardous time because of the low altitude. Again, the plane was landed without mishap. The cause of the engine failure this time was overheating of the engine due to too lean a fuel mixture, which resulted in a hole burnt into the top of a piston. Not every engine failure is successfully dealt with, but the structure of the plane is forgiving. It crumples on impact, absorbing the energy of the plane. Both passengers in each of these two accidents escaped unhurt. However, engine failures are not common in the sport in spite of Mark's experiences. The risk of them can be greatly reduced, if not eliminated, by sound attention to engine maintenance. Good training and regular practice to keep one's skills polished is essential to be able to cope with any emergencies that do occur. The exercise of sound airmanship, which is gained from regular practice and experience, helps to avoid getting into situations that place you and others at risk. Those who take part in the sport enjoy its challenges and take pride in their competence. It's a sport for the venturesome of spirit, who like to encounter freedom laced with danger, but who take pride in handling that danger with their own skill and competence.